Today, we're going to have a wonderful interview with Joe Blanton. This is outstanding information Joe is going to give us. Now, Joe, he has been an entrepreneur, an advocate for personal responsibility, freedom, and sovereignty his whole life. As a business owner, a radio talk show host, Joe is devoutly passionate about personal communications, leadership, emotional clearing, and more. And that's what we're going to talk about the more. We're going to focus on the red infrared cold laser technology. Duh, what is that? And how can we use it today? So, Joe, I want to thank you very much for coming on. You know, we met each other down at the emergency disaster event down in Los Angeles a few months ago, and I loved your idea, what you got going on. So why don't you give me some background? Where did you get into this? What was it that made you suddenly jump on infrared red laser technology?
Well, I had a very sick childhood, and so I grew up on penicillin, sick all the time, and I healed all that in my mid-20s holistically. So I've been
Okay.
on the path a long time and dealing with special supplements and toxic-free stuff. And when I came across the lasers about 15 years ago, I realized that the bottom line to our health and wellness is where we're vibrating. So I really was intrigued by it, got started studying it and looking into it, and found that the red and infrared laser has the frequencies from the sun.
Okay.
Over 50% of the frequencies from our sun is red and infrared rays that our body needs. And the standard red laser has 10 frequencies in it for the muscular skeletal body naturally in the color red.
Okay.
But what Pure Vibrance has done is they've used sacred geometry along with zero point technology, and they've added 1,635 more frequencies. So our laser is read through infrared and stimulates the mitochondria in our body within 30 seconds of applying this to the body. It adds about 30% life force energy in our blood. And it separates all of our red blood cells into free flowing in the next 30 seconds to a minute. And that gives us better microcirculation, and better microcirculation. Also, when it goes through the lungs, it picks up more oxygen. And so that's what the body needs to help the body heal, no matter what the problem is. More life
Okay.
force energy, better microcirculation, more oxygen.
Well, what
And
really
so,
got me going when we had our conversation down in Los Angeles was the use of this red laser technology as a first aid tool. And I'm thinking, yeah, really, right? And you're talking to me about how it helps stop bleeding, and there are some other things that it can do immediately beyond the long-term health effects. So let's dive into it as an alternate type of first aid tool and how it can be used and what it'll do for us.
excellent. I'm still climbing mountains and hiking and doing a lot of stuff, and so I've proven this to myself more than once. As soon as when you have an injury to the body, what happens is, according to NASA, is the mitochondria in that area curl up, figuratively speaking, like a hedgehog, and they stop communicating and they stop producing ATP. And that's why
Oh,
we have swelling, we have excess bleeding. The immune system, white blood cells are locked up in it. And so as soon as you hit it with the red laser, it relaxes the mitochondria completely. It takes the trauma out of a new injury in about 45 seconds. It immediately adds more life force energy, better microcirculation. The immune system's able to start functioning. The cells are communicating back and forth. So it'll stop the bleeding in about a third of the time. There won't be any swelling, and it'll heal in a third of the time from the inside out with no scar.
okay. So,
That's
like, I know right now there's a bunch of people going, "Yeah, right, Danielle. Okay, this is some snake oil we got going on here." So give me some substantial background information. You say NASA uses this, so there's got to be some sort of well-established papers on this. So where can we find that? Where can we point these people who are scratching their head right now so they can go say, you know what, he's right. How can we do that?
I've got a quote here from the National Library of Medicine. It's PubMed, used to be PubMed.gov, now it's PubMed Central. It says the photons from the red infrared, they're talking about the red laser, are absorbed by the mitochondrial uh, chromophores in the skin cells. Consequently, electron transport adenosine triphosphate, which is the ATP, our life force energy, nitric oxide release, blood flow, reactive oxygen species increase, and diverse signaling pathways get activated. Stem cells can be activated, allowing increased tissue repair and healing.
Okay,
And
well,
that's
that's cool. Okay, so people can go to where you said this was called what? Where can I find this information?
It's the National Library of Medicine.
National
Trauma.
Library of Medicine. Okay, so folks that are listening, I'll find the link to that. We'll dump that down in here into the
Right.
stuff you
And
have
you can
to
go to
read. Okay.
Yeah, PubMed.gov is what I went to originally.
Okay,
There's
so
several papers on it.
most people, when we think about laser, we're just all over Star Wars, zing, So this is not that kind of laser. I mean, most people, we talk about lasers, we see laser technology, we say, wear your glasses, don't point it in your eyes, be careful, you're going to burn yourself. As a matter of fact, I've used lasers in the military. Yes, you can burn yourself, don't point it in your eyes. We have used that technology to disorient people and do things to protect ourselves. So how is this different?
These are your red laser. The reason NASA has been using them is the red, in the color red of a red laser, there's 10 frequencies that match optimal wellness for the muscles and the skin and the bones.
Okay.
And it brings the body into parasympathetic. So we've added 1,635 more. So we're red and infrared. And it's a cold laser. It's only a 5 milliwatt class 2 medical type laser. It's got an attended button. You have to hold it on. So what happens when you laser like on an injury, and it starts to give you better microcirculation, more oxygen, and more life force energy, the body actually starts to heal faster. And there's no swelling in it. So we have full motion in that injury, and then it heals from the inside out. And I've got some stories I could tell, that I've done myself, where I busted my chin open and things like that. And it healed with no scar.
Okay, so just taking this in a broad scope here, so there's a certain category of injuries that can be used on, and a certain maybe it shouldn't be used on?
It can be used anywhere on the body at any time.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking about a major catastrophic injury of like an amputation or something. Can it still be used to try to relieve some some swelling, some pain with that, no matter how big or what is amputated?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be used. It would take longer in that situation because the whole limb is gone.
Right.
But still, it's going to, and I've experienced this several times myself and with other people. Just taking the trauma out of a new injury in 45 seconds or so is major, because the pain is gone.
So if any reason, so in itself, that's just relieving the trauma is a good thing.
Relieving the trauma.
Okay.
But you're also taking the body into parasympathetic. You're relaxing the body. And when you relax the body, you upgrade the gene regulation or start building healthier proteins.
Right.
And the mitochondria are involved in that proteins also, because the red laser and infrared laser, the main thing it does is trigger the mitochondria to produce more life force energy and healthier proteins, et cetera. And so when you do that to a new injury, you take the trauma away and everybody relaxes a little bit. And so the stress is reduced. I won't say it's gone, in the injury. But now people are more level-headed. They can strategize more to get out of that injury or tragedy that they're in.
That does make sense. Yes, absolutely. If you're in a high stress situation, you want to relieve that stress so you can think about what you're doing, not react emotionally, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So when the pain's gone, that happens. And then there's no swelling when you get on it right away, which swelling is one of the major problems also in slowing down the healing process, because the white blood cells are locked up in the swelling.
Right.
And so we're stopping the bleeding, quicker. And then it starts to actually mend from the inside out.
Yeah,
and
so I'm looking at your brochure. The device apparently seems to be about this size, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
just a little bit bigger than that.
Okay, so it's not an unreasonable thing to keep in a go kit, keep in a home first aid kit or something like that, so you have access to it. Oh, that's it there.
Right
Okay.
here.
So it's just a big
Yeah.
pen, essentially, right? Or
It's a
so,
big
or
pen.
it's a laser flashlight. I don't know, however you want to call it. There are many Jedi swords. Yeah. Okay. So, here's an interesting thing. I'm looking at this material you have, and I'm going to cite something on it. Says the future medicine will be based on controlling energy frequencies in the body. This is William Tiller, PhD. So the whole concept of frequencies in the body and the frequency concept is not new, but is a resurgence of it about how the frequency that we live on, the frequency of things we do affect our outcome and our reality. So is medicine suddenly getting done into the woo-woo stuff here and realizing that maybe something's going on?
The alternative medicine is. The
Okay.
traditional medicine is not. They're still a long way from it.
Okay, they're still stuck where
But
they're at, right? Okay.
Einstein said in the 30s that future medicine would be the medicine of frequencies. And then William Teller he's still living. He's got some good material out there. That's why I
Okay.
quoted him.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So besides the red laser, I'm looking at this. You got a red laser, you have a violet, a green, and then the nano infinity one or whatever the infinity ionizer. So why don't you walk me through those, because they obviously do something a little different, right?
Correct. The red laser is red and infrared, and it has frequencies for the muscular skeletal body. And then the green laser has frequencies added for internal organ systems of the body to tune up the internal organ systems. And if you use it through the navel is still energetically connected to all the organ systems.
Okay.
So that's what it's for. And then you can also use it right over the organ or anywhere else on the body except the eyes. The red laser you can actually use in your eyes. The violet laser has frequencies added for antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial. So the need for it in an emergency could be very strong as far as working with your water or getting an infection or something like that in a wound. So it would help with helping the body handle that.
I'm just thinking out loud here as the disaster specialist here, where water is very crucial. We need to have water. And we're either using a chemical to purify the water, we're using a filter to filter the water. So we're taking heavy metals and stuff out with the filter, then we're killing off the protozoa and the bacteria with the chemicals. But if we filter our water with the violet one, right? Yeah, the violet laser would be good to just like stir that around in the water for a few seconds to kill whatever's in it.
You can shine the violet laser in the water for 30 seconds and it will neutralize any other toxins and slow down the ability of any pathogens or something like that to be able to replicate or cause problems. And it keeps them from building a shell to where if they do get in the body's immune system can take care of it.
Okay.
And it adds 30% life force energy into the water at the same time, making the water.
You mentioned something about your ionized water thing, about how with the water we've got now is becoming more not water, I guess we can call it. And at some level, we want to change it back to what it's supposed to be. So I think I heard you say with the violet pen might help do that. But you got another product out there. What is that other little thing you got?
The other one's it's called a hydro ionizer, and I call it a hydration ionizer. And when you pour it has a vortex in it where it's vortexing it in and vortexing it back out. It's only about 3.5 inches long. But when you pour your water through it, it vortexes it in, vortexes it back out, replicating a Rocky Mountain stream. The way nature cleans water is vortexing it around the rocks. And so it actually changes H2O to H3O2. It adds an extra hydrogen molecule and oxygen molecule and structures the water when you pour it through it. So it makes it microclustered to where it actually starts hydrating the body through osmosis from the mouth and the upper stomach. It doesn't have to be digested.
Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I take it you probably drink your water through these things all the time, right?
All the time.
So have you noticed, can you taste the difference? That's what I'm trying to get at. I know when I travel around the country, sometimes when I get the water in the system, I go, I can taste that. I don't like it. So that would be a good thing to whip out the violet light and then pour it through that thing and have some good water. Is that it?
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
love it.
and I do a test when I'm at expos and stuff like that. If people have their own water with them, I'll have them take a taste of it for taste and texture,
Right.
and even the Kangen water, and then I'll pour it through the device and have them taste it again, and 100% can taste the difference noticeably
That's good.
because it actually takes it from H2O to H3O2. So
That's
yeah,
right. A lot of people think water's water until you actually taste real good water, and there's, the bottled waters are what they are. I mean, they are a necessity at some point, but we can't,
Mhm.
it would be so nice to get back to something that would be considered like real water. So you got all these
Exactly.
interesting little gadgets going on here. So how do you promote this? What do you do to get this out in front of people? Because it's not common. As a matter of
It's
fact, I
not.
haven't seen this anywhere else. I haven't seen anybody promoting anything like that. Are you like just like the forefront of this whole industry here right now, or what?
Yes, we are. Yep, we're the forefront, and we're still a small company, but we're reaching out. I'm doing expos. I started a TV channel, of my own, reaching out there, starting to learn Instagram,
Okay.
working on getting it out to the masses. But the expos are where I'm getting most of my traction right now, and then referrals from people getting results,
Okay.
and
So,
that's the beauty.
so going back to the red laser, you mentioned the eyes. Now, I know most people, when they think of lasers, there's this big disclaimer on it: do not shine it in your eyes. And I know I have several of them, and I read that and it says, don't shine it in your eyes. But you're saying this particular laser you can shine in your eyes. Now, what does that do, and why can you get away with it?
Well, what it is all of the frequencies are calibrated to optimal wellness frequencies for our body, and it's a cold laser. And the key to helping the body heal itself is triggering and exciting the mitochondria.
Right.
And so what happens is with our red laser, I wouldn't shine anybody else's red laser in my eyes, but with our red laser, you can shine it directly in the eyes, and you can actually see that pattern. And I did it accidentally. I didn't do it on purpose. I was doing expos, started about 6 years ago, and people would come up and say, "Well, you can't shine that red laser in your eyes." And I'll back up one step. I've been wearing glasses for 52 years, nearsighted in one eye, farsighted in the other, astigmatism in both. And so they would say that, and then I go, well, I wouldn't shine anybody else's red laser in my eye. So I know these frequencies are all coherent, blah, 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 15 to 20 seconds. And I started demonstrating it that way. And then I got to where I didn't need reading glasses anymore. I could read without my reading glasses. And I was wearing contacts and reading glasses. And I just kept demonstrating it that way at these expos. And then I got to where I didn't need daytime glasses. And a couple of years ago, it's like, I don't need glasses at night either. And so I drive day and night now with no glasses,
Well,
and I
that's
read fine print.
okay. So I'm going to throw a disclaimer out with this right now. This is not medical advice, people. This is a unique incident with Joe. His experience might not be your experience. So let's just get that disclaimer going there. So, well, I bought it. I can't see shit now. But hey, continuing this for started. So there's that whole thing. So this is a safe cold laser.
Yes,
It's bright like a laser though, right? It's not dim, right?
right. No,
Okay.
it's bright.
So if you had to have a laser for a signaling device, this would work as a signaling device also?
That it would, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to throw this out here to you folks. If you have a red laser as a signaling device and you buy one of these, get rid of the other one. Pull the other one out of your kit so you don't accidentally shine it in your eyes. Okay.
Exactly.
It's the whole safety thing. Just keep one in your kit. All right. So,
Yep.
so what else can we do with this stuff? I mean, you got this whole sorts of interesting things going here. It's like really got me interested. So, what other types of things can we do that we haven't touched on?
Well, the other thing is, especially in an emergency, you laser your food, laser any lotions that you might have or anything that you're putting on your skin.
Right.
And you can laser your actual skin, it helps the body from getting sunburn as bad, stuff
Well,
like
that's what I
that.
was thinking. We got summer getting ready to kick off, and we're going to have sunburns coming left and right. So when you say laser your lotion, so am I lasering my sunburn lotion?
Well, your suntan lotion, because your
Okay.
suntan, there's very few suntan lotions that are toxic free. As a
Oh,
matter of
okay.
fact, I don't know of any. So it would help neutralize and mitigate the toxins that are in the lotion when you put it on your skin, because anything you put on your skin's in your blood in 26 seconds.
True.
And
Your
toxic,
skin's going to absorb whatever you got on there, right?
yeah, exactly, go straight in. And non-toxic is very unhealthy. So non-toxic, you want to put stuff on your skin and eat stuff that's toxic free. Toxic free means it didn't have to be tested on animals because there's no
Right.
toxins in it.
Well,
Non-toxic.
that does remind me, I did a little study last summer. I did a little thing about not getting a sunburn, and the studies I was finding, a lot of so-called baby suntan lotions are highly toxic, and a lot of infants and children are going to the hospital because mom and dad put the stuff on to try to protect them. So
Correct.
I think this red laser would be an addition to that sauce we're putting on our kid.
And then research and find the healthiest sauce.
Yeah. But
an
there
umbrella
is
would
some
be
out there,
better.
right? There is some out there. You just have to track it
There
down.
are some out there.
It's
Yeah,
just
there are some out there that are almost toxic free.
okay.
And what toxins are there are not the type that, the catastrophic toxins. So yeah.
I'm writing this down because I'm going to do some homework on it.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay, so what other direction can we go? So we got the internal organ thing, which is going to help your internal organs. So I'll basically pop that on your belly button or over the organ, like your kidney or your liver, your gallbladder, or what have you.
It's like my kid brother was diagnosed with diverticulitis. He just runs it around on his stomach, and gets relief that way.
And it helps them out. Okay. So what is this?
What we're doing is, and the reason we're working is anytime you have a symptom in your body, it's vibrating lower than optimal wellness. See, a muscle that's totally healthy vibrates at a specific frequency, animal or human.
Right.
If it's hurting, it's vibrating lower than that. So what we're infusing into the body is the optimal wellness frequency. The lower frequency will always entrain up to the higher frequency. And as it's entraining up, that's when the body is actually able to start healing itself, because it's got more life force energy, better microcirculation, and more oxygen.
Yeah,
and so every time you use it, it's going to help heal it.
So one thing we haven't talked about, I'm looking at your list here. We haven't talked about the infinity ionizer. That just sounds like to infinity and beyond. Okay, so what's the infinity ionizer? I mean, serious, I got to play. I have to have fun,
Exactly. Having fun is the key. Having fun is the key to being healthy too. The infinity ionizer has 25,000 negative ions in it, and our body needs negative ions. Negative ions are what you find at waterfalls and the ocean, and wherever there's moving water after a lightning strike, etc.
Oh,
and so
let me slow you down a second. So it's like when I go to the grocery store and I see these bottles of ionized water, that's what they've done. They've done something to make it better for you, or what?
They've done something to be able to call it ionized water.
Oh, okay.
Put it that way.
Might not be that good, huh? Okay.
So, stagnant water is not healthy water.
True.
Water is made to move, and in nature, not down a pipe and stuff like that. So that's part of the problem with our waters, today. But the ionizer has 25,000 negative ions shooting out the end of it about 100 feet. And it's carrying about 1,400 frequencies that match optimal wellness to our body. And so when I carry the red laser and the ionizer with me all the time, and I just use the two together. And you activate the ionizer by going in a clockwise motion with whatever you're energizing being the face of the clock.
Okay.
And it accelerates the healing even more. It accelerates the body's ability to heal itself even more.
So this is like a supplementary tool you can add onto the red laser for an alternative first aid tool.
Correct.
But it can also be used in what else?
It can be used as a standalone, and I don't have one free. Women, a lot of them will use it to tone the muscles in their face, to lift, to tone, stuff like this.
Okay.
So we had a lot of people using it that way.
That's interesting.
And so, yeah.
Very, very interesting. So
I've had people, elderly people actually just hang it in their nightgown, like my mom, and she was at 83. She was using a walker and just sitting around the farmhouse in her nightgown, no life. And we got her to hang it in her blouse, or in her nightgown rather. And within about a week to 10 days, she wasn't using the walker anymore. She was able to walk around.
So is this
So
always on? Is it like an always on device?
it's always on.
So you don't have no battery for it. You don't have to push it. You don't have to do nothing. Oh, that's even better. No batteries involved. I love that. Okay.
Exactly. So it's on all the time. Yeah. So,
So,
yeah, there's
okay. Well, let's say, is there a shelf life to it?
no,
Oh, okay.
everything we have is permanently infused
Okay.
for lifetime.
Well, that's very,
Yeah.
very, very interesting. This has been a very educational and entertaining talk with you, Joe. I'm so happy we got together. So is there anything we haven't discussed, we haven't covered? Anything you want to bring up that's very important that you want the audience to know about?
Well, there is the what I call the third most critical thing in our body, and that's unprocessed sea salt. And
Okay.
that's why I want to give away an article I wrote 30 years ago or more on 17 vital functions of sea salt. And so anybody listening can get that
Okay.
article, because salt is the communication system for our body. The trace minerals in unprocessed sea salt are what the body uses for the electrical communication cell to cell and many other functions in our body. So unprocessed sea salt regulates your heartbeat, regulates your sleep, regulates critical for clearing phlegm out of the lungs. The start of diabetes is dehydration and not enough unprocessed sea salt. And I can go on and on. Like I said, there's 17 functions that I've written down. And so I want everybody to be aware of that also.
Okay. So we're going to have this link. This is, I take it, a PDF file or something like that?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
PDF file.
So we're going to have a link for this inside the body of the text message down below, or in the side or above this video, for people to go look at. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So now that sounds so interesting. The salt thing. It's like, obviously our blood is salty. If you taste your blood, you can taste the salt in it, right? And so I'm thinking over the course of our technological lifespan, we're removing some of this stuff out of our systems, not necessarily intentionally, but just because of the way we're living.
The way we're conditioned to live, low salt diets, low fat diets,
Right.
So it's what I call doctor created diseases, because the body needs all. I mean, our brain, our whole spinal fluid, all of that is one molecule away from it's seawater.
Okay.
It's seawater. Our brain and our spine are all cushioned in seawater, and seawater is only one molecule away from our blood. Back in World War II, that in emergencies they could actually use seawater to, if they didn't have blood, they could use seawater to keep somebody alive.
Well,
That's how critical seawater is.
Okay, that doesn't mean you folks got to go get some seawater to go pump in your blood. So you need a transfusion.
Don't drink it though.
Don't go there. Yeah,
Don't drink seawater.
Yeah.
And the other thing is your bones are 27% salt.
Oh, really?
And so
Okay. Something else I didn't know.
bones,
And don't crush your
bones
bones down to put on top of your steak. Don't do that. All right. Okay, so Joe, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, how could they manage to do that? What can they do to track you down?
The easiest way is my phone number, which is 469-766-5511. And my email address is joe@theredlaserguy.com. And that's with an S, laser with an S. You can go to my YouTube channel, and that's youtube.com/@theredlaserguy. The ampersand, the red laser guy.
Okay.
And I just put up a video of an 83-year-old man that can now read fine print without glasses from using the red laser. The guy.
This is so interesting. All right. Well, hey, Joe, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to come on and share this information with our audience. And audience, I hope you guys go research it. All right. Don't take our word for it. Go out there and research it, study it for yourself, and discover what you believe about it. And Joe has told you how to get a hold of him. There's going to be his phone number. He's got an email address. And at the worst case scenario, just Google Joe, the red laser guy. All right. And you'll find him. All right, Joe, anything else you want to do? Oh, I got a question for you, Joe. and I like to ask this because it has nothing to do with what we've been talking about. If you're stranded on a desert island and you're hungry, there's no more food, you've eaten all the flora and fauna you can find on the island, and a box rolls up on shore with your favorite food, what's in that box?
Actually, tuna.
Tuna. Okay. Just tuna?
Tuna,
All right. Well, you could live on it. Okay.
yeah, tuna or salmon. Yeah, salmon would be good too.
Are you going to laser it before you eat it?
I'll laser it before I eat it.
All right, Joe.
Definitely.
So, Joe, the red laser guy loves his tuna, and he's going to laser it before he eats it. Thank you, Joe. I want to thank you so much for coming on and joining us. And for everybody out there, this is Daniel with the Emergency Broadcast System, actually not the EAP Broadcast System, with Joe, the red laser guy. Thanks, Joe. You take care.
All right, I'll do it. You too. Thanks. It's been a pleasure. Enjoyed it.
Okay.
Take care and have fun.
Hello there. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and take advantage of our limited time special offer at www.eapready.com.